What's up? Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, and welcome into another edition of the Fast Break Podcast right here on MVP Sports, the YouTube page. You're watching it right now. I am joined with my duo's partner, my backcourt mate. We would be back, we're short enough to be Dave Oster, basically. We'd be backcourt, right?
We're too short to be anything else.
Center power forward, is that us?
I mean, that's about how far away I can shoot the ball from, so let's stick to it.
The thing that I hated, by the way, growing up, Dave, is because of my weight as a chunkier kid, they would put me at the 4. And it's like, at least try me out at the 2. I didn't have the handles to be a 1. I understand that.
Obviously.
But there's a part of me that's like, I can't be going up against these 4s. They're tall. They have verticality. Yeah. I do not have the verticality.
You just got to play the Zion game, man. You guys are built the same. You just got to get up there. You use your jump, get up.
Well, that's what the coaches thought, just body them up, man. Get that stomach
Absolutely.
and just bump into them. Especially when one of my coaches in 6th grade, every time we played, it was shirts and skins. And he was like, oh, got to put Ricky on the skins team. Yeah, that didn't scar.
You got fat shamed as a kid.
That didn't scar a 6th grader right there.
You got fat shamed as a kid.
I did get fat shamed as a kid, but hey, whenever I'd go to body him up, the kids would be like, ugh, and I'd be like, yeah, stomach out there.
Yeah, it's unpleasant for everybody.
That's how you do it, because you know what? If you don't score, you don't win the game. But we've got a jam-packed show. We're talking about NBA draft today. We're talking about Kyrie Irving today. We're talking about COVID today. The best basketball player in the world, COVID. Because everything revolves around COVID these days.
Yes.
Before we get into everything, make sure you join the Discord. That link is down below in the description. It's the greatest community in the universe. If you want to support us, check out our Patreon page or become a channel member today. Both of those links down below in the description. But the Patreon page is patreon.com/MVPvids. And then last but not least, hit that sub button, that like button, that notification bell to stay in tune with what's going on with MVP. But Dave, the first thing we're talking about, the first little foray into a little bit of tease into draft talk, because you threw it out in the Discord. The draft videos are coming. Winter is basically coming. Draft season is finally almost here. It's not finally here. It's finally almost here. Okay. But college basketball has been going on. You have been in the, I'm going to call it the draft lab, watching some film, looking at some guys, organizing some guys. And there's one guy that I want to have a little bit of a discussion on, because during his recruitment, a lot of people thought he was going to go one way over another. And that is Patrick Baldwin Jr., PB&J, as you introduced me to his nickname today, because I had never heard that before. But so he's at University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. He had offers from Arizona State, DePaul, Duke, Florida, Georgetown, Iowa, Kansas State, Kentucky, LSU, Marquette, Michigan, Minnesota, Mizzou, UNC, Northwestern, UCLA, UNLV, USC, Virginia, Wake Forest, and Wisconsin. All of those teams better than UW-Milwaukee, higher profile than UW-Milwaukee. We understand that he went to UW-Milwaukee because his father is the coach. But the question still has to be put out there, Dave. I will be frank. I will just ask it. Did Patrick Baldwin Jr. make the wrong choice by going to Milwaukee over anywhere else? Didn't have to be Duke like many people thought it would. Did he make the wrong choice by going to the smaller school, going the Ja route, basically?
I mean, I would call it almost the Cade Cunningham route.
That too.
He went to a worse school to play with family.
Mm-hmm.
Cade, obviously, we all know where he had offers to everywhere. Fucking ever.
Yeah.
But he went to a team in OK State because of a family coaching position. Mm-hmm. And I understand there's the need, and there's, how cool is that to get to play with family, or not with family, but under family. And I'm just like, you know what? If your goal was to get better at basketball and to get drafted higher, you picked the wrong school.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to stay close to family, then sure. I mean, It's just, what do you prioritize more? Do you, and it sounds evil to be like, do you prioritize your family over your draft status and getting better at your career and making millions and hundreds of millions of dollars?
And millions.
That's a question I can't answer on Patrick Baldwin's behalf, but he's not doing himself any favors because he's playing for a small school. He has no peers who are on the same level as him talent-wise. He's playing against pretty poor competition the majority of the time. He doesn't have a true point guard. And that's kind of exposed the fact that Patrick Baldwin Jr. maybe was hyped up a little bit too much because, without someone to feed him the ball, without someone, he's not a number one in an offense, period. The game against Colorado was a fucking struggle bus to get through, Ricky. Yeah. That was supposed to be a good matchup because we got Jabari Walker, Colorado, someone last year we saw who I think a lot of the people kind of put on the radar and like, oh shit, there's this big fucking wing at Colorado who can shoot from three. Very small very small attempt count. But I remember talking to you about him actually last year during the draft and being like, this is a guy we should keep an eye on because even though he shoots very well, it was very low attempts. But just physically, he's built, he's strong. Both of them had piss poor shooting games. And it raises a question when you have those big time games to prove, hey, higher level competition because I'm going to a small school. What can I prove? Prove that maybe going to a small school without a point guard might have been a problem. Might have been a mistake long term for you.
I mean,
I'm saying,
like, I look at it too, and like the one. This isn't like a 1-to-1 comparison because this guy didn't go to Duke for family, and he didn't have a connection like. There wasn't a family connection at any of the like lower schools, but it would almost be like if RJ Barrett was like, I'm not going to go play with Zion and Cam. I'm going to go to Connecticut. I'm going to go to Louisville. Like I'm going to go to, and like Louisville's not a small school, more so
go
like,
smaller.
Like Missouri.
Smaller.
The smallest school he had.
Because MPJ went to Mizzou, right?
MPJ went
with
to
his
Mizzou.
brother and his dad was the coach.
Yep, and his brother was there. But like,
so that's almost a perfect example. Except MPJ, actually, that's a great
but he was
fucking
still
person.
Number one. Like
he was number one,
injury.
but he broke his goddamn back 8 times, and his family has a horrible history of ACL injuries. So, like, but play style wise, you got big wings who can shoot. The difference is MPJ can get his own shot up. And Patrick Baldwin Jr. still working on that. Still needs to find some consistency with getting his own shot. Maybe not the most well-rounded kid. Definitely not a number one like MPJ could be if he was ever healthy. But we'll never know because he'll never be.
I just like the reason why I bring up the RJ part is because Duke this year has Paolo. They have AJ Griffin. They have Wendell Moore. It's like, could you imagine Patrick Baldwin Jr. with those guys?
Filthy.
It would almost be like for example, like RJ and even Cam. You could say either one, depending on which one you liked during the draft process. Were they elevated because they were together with those two and Zion? Like, take any one of them, put them, except for Zion, take Cam, put him in a different school, take RJ, put him in a different school that doesn't have the other two. Are they still looked at as highly? Are they in the MPJ category of like, no, they're a really good player. It doesn't matter where they are. They will elevate their game. Or is it what we're looking at in the Patrick Baldwin category of like, I need guys around me. Like, I am not the guy that can do it all myself. I need other players around me in order to be successful.
I think RJ probably would have succeeded much more so than Cam, and that's in that hypothetical situation. Yeah. Purely because RJ was a natural ball handler coming into college. He was counted on to be heavy primary ball handler duties upon hitting college. So, like, I think no matter where he goes, he has success. Obviously, the 2-man game he was able to play with Zion for part of the season was great, and it won them a lot of games, and they both kind of got some shine off that. But Cam was more so like the third, he was a third guy. He was very clearly left out. I'm not sure what he does in a situation if he went to a smaller school or side school even.
Like
same
Cam
level,
Reddish
but just
went to Seton Hall or Pitt.
No clue what
Penn
Cam
State.
Reddish would have done there. He could have been great. Could be terrible. We still don't know what Cam Reddish is, and we're 3 years into his NBA career.
We've seen flashes. We've seen good flashes.
We've seen flashes. We've seen great defense. We have not seen the next level wing star, whatever you want to call it, to the point where the Hawks are talking about, hey, we should probably move him. So I don't know. I think it's interesting to try to pluck and plop talent on different teams and see what they could do. But like Patrick Baldwin Jr. is just it feels like a mistake today. I don't know how you climb back out of the hole you've dug is the problem, because going into the year, a lot of people are like, he's a big wing who can shoot. He has a great stroke. You know what? As long as he does a little bit of hustle out there, can prove he can hit his own shot, create his own shot out there. Like, this kid's top 10. He's top 10 talent, period. Yeah. And now people are going like, is he even lottery? Is he even lottery? A lot of people are asking.
Should team success even matter when it comes to a prospect? Like, yeah, the team kind of stinks, but hey, you know what? Look at what he is, and that's what we should look at. Should we not even worry that he's on a 1-win Milwaukee team, a team that's probably not going to make the NCAA tournament? All right, 2 wins. They're probably not going to make the NCAA tournament. He's not going to be on that big of a stage, which I think is if you're a prospect and you're like, okay, I'm a top-end recruit, I'm going, there's a pretty good chance I'm a top 10 pick. If you're not going to the G League, because the G League is already, I think, in 1 year, proved that it could be a viable substitute for college if you don't want to go.
Good spot to go number 1 overall in 2023, man. Yeah. But the G League's up there, yeah.
But if you're not going to go to the G League, I think that if you're a player that's going to college and you're like, okay, there's a good chance I could be a top 10 pick, you got to pick a team that's going to make the tournament. You need to pick a team that it's like, there is very high odds that I will be in the tournament, because you need that national spotlight. You need to rule, even if it's one weekend because your team gets bounced in the first game. Yeah. You were at the dance. You got to be seen on that big stage where all the media, basically the entire sports world, focuses on you for a weekend.
And we've seen how much that the tournament plays in factoring where in the draft you're going to go. Yeah. The tournament makes or breaks cases. We talked about an Illinois team. If we were able to make a deep run, how much that would have helped Ayo Dosunmu be a first-round talent, because he is first-round talent, but he got taken at the top of the second for a reason, because people didn't get to watch him in the tournament. They didn't get to watch this kid pop off and have his moments when all the eyes are on him. We've seen many guys get a chance in the league because of the tournament. We've seen other guys, almost play their way out. It's like, I agree. I think the tournament is critical to college success. What's interesting is I don't think that necessarily winning games is super relevant. But I do think that you have to at least play well if your team loses. Like, you can't, Cade played well. Yeah. Cade played well in college. And everyone just kind of looked at the team and went, well, there's an asterisk here, because what do you expect for a team that had not much talent, no RCI, 100 players outside of him?
I remember I would troll the Discord, and there was one game I watched and Cade missed a game winner. I'd be like,
he did?
Is this guy number 1 draft pick worthy? Come on, man, he can't even lead his team to a victory.
Should have been Schengen. We all know it now, but looking back during those days, who knows? My point is, expectations, is something everybody's gonna set on their own. I think going in as someone who has been having fun evaluating draft talent for the last couple of years, I don't think winning is critical. I think it's how you play the game, and he does not play well. And not a lot of people. I've heard some people rumoring that maybe there's some fears about him being a coachable player. Maybe he doesn't want to take advice from people on the outside. Yeah. So what does it look like when we come to an NBA team and your dad's not around anymore? Are you going to be a coachable player? Are you going to be somebody who takes advice and criticism and can work with it and build on it? Or are you someone who thinks they know what's best for themselves? Yeah. And you're going to keep your family relationship very close, and you're going to value them over everything else. We've seen shot doctors and whatnot try to help people, and other times we've seen people's family, friends be there for them. Yeah. And it doesn't work out as well. And it's like, you do realize people want what's best for you, but sometimes people are just so attached to whatever shit's going on that they're not going to do it. So it's like, are there any concerns from you about him perhaps being not or being labeled as not easily coachable
I mean,
because of his decision to stay with the guy who's been, raised him? It's almost LeVar Ball-esque, but like obviously Pat Baldwin Sr. isn't a loudmouth asshole on
well,
national media.
I don't even know if it's like, I don't even know if you could say it's LeVar Ball-esque because, like, Lonzo still went to UCLA. Like, Lonzo still went to UCLA, got coached there. Fucking LaMelo went overseas to Australia and was like, I'm going to play in Australia. I'm going to get coached up by the Australian coaches. Like,
First, he played under LeVar Ball in Lithuania. Then he played under LeVar Ball in the Big Three.
But like,
or I'm sorry, what was the Big Baller League?
The Big Baller.
So he did play under LeVar Ball for his entire life up until Australia.
But it wasn't like there was that break of like, I need, like, that to me is the biggest. I don't know if it's uncoachable, but for me, I think there's a little red flag of, for example, why you would pass up. Like, think about some of the coaches that he passed up just to play with his dad, where it's like, you're passing up coach. Like, I know that this is Coach K's last year, but like, you're passing up Coach K for a year because obviously you're not playing next year. Then it's going to be Shire, who's going to be the head coach of the Duke Blue Devils. You're passing up, was it Fran McCaffrey, I think it is, in Iowa. I always mix the basketball and football coach. I think it's McCaffrey is the basketball coach at Iowa. Bill Self at Kansas. Bruce Weber at Kansas State. Calipari at Kentucky. Juwan Howard at Michigan. Patino in Minnesota. Is Patino still? I can't remember if Little Patino is still at Minnesota. But my point being, you're passing up all these coaches to where, to me, the red flag is, I don't know if you're uncoachable, but you're going to pick comfortability over uncomfortability. Where it's like some players, it's like, I need to be challenged. That's how I'm going to get better. I need to go somewhere new, learn from somebody else. Yeah. There are other players that shy away from that. And they go, I need to be comfortable. Is that really going to be it? Because when you go to the NBA, Daddy Baldwin's not going to be there. Daddy Baldwin is not going to get hired by a coaching staff and be there for you every step of the way. It's almost like I get that these, as a freshman, you're still a kid in much sense. So it's like,
very much.
I totally understand this. Like, I feel comfortable playing for my dad. This is where I want to go. And like, I respect that decision, but I feel like you have to have the adult decision of, I got to do what's best for me. And if I want to grow up and I want to get better, I got to cut the cord. I got to cut the cord and go to the place. And if that's UW-Milwaukee, hell, it's UW-Milwaukee. Whatever place is going to help me grow into the best prospect I can be so that I can capitalize in the draft.
Devil's advocate. Would you also put it as a flag if he didn't go play for his dad?
No.
Wouldn't. Okay.
I wouldn't, because like it depends on, in a combine.
Your dad's been coaching you your entire life, and you're telling me he's a college coach and you're not even going to go to his college? Like,
depends on the
answer. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying, like, to play devil's advocate, that is out there too.
Depends on his answer. Where if I'm in a combine situation, if let's say he didn't go play for his dad, I just ask him about it. And depending on how he answered the question, I mean, you could say the same thing for this. Like at the combine, just ask him why he went to play for his dad. And depending on his answer, it might be like, oh, okay, it's not a red flag. But for me, I don't know. You're 1-9. You're kind of looking like you're on the tail end, like, or 2 whatever. I keep forgetting they have 2 wins, not 1 win. Point is, they're a bad basketball team. They're just a bad basketball team. And like every time I've watched UW-Milwaukee this year, I just go, why would you want to go play for this team? Besides that, Papa Baldwin's the coach.
That's it. There's not much more to it.
That's all it is. He wanted to play for Papa Baldwin.
I mean, it's sad at the end of the day, though, because you look at a kid who was so highly ranked. I think he was number 5 coming into the class. Or he was at least top 10. It depends on if you're a 7 guy or an RSCI guy.
He was 8 nationally on 247. 8 nationally, 2nd in his position, 1st in his state.
First, he was 5th in RSCI.
Okay.
So like he, again, top player in his class.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that anyone would take him in the top 10 anymore. I don't know if he falls to the back half of the lottery or out of the lottery. I'm gonna say it. I think he might fall out of the lottery, Ricky. I think this is
Yeah.
spoilers. He might fall out of the lottery.
Well, I mean,
What would it take? What would it take for him to get back up into your lottery? Or top 10, we'll say top 10 because that's, preseason. What would it take from him to get back there this season? We still have a lot of games to be played, as far as we know. I know, obviously, the COVID situation is ever evolving, but we do expect there to be some more games that happen for the remainder of this year. What would it take from Patrick Baldwin to get back up there?
I mean, yet again, I don't know if this is something that's going to be like they're two different players. One plays a different game. That's why it was easier for them or not. But I almost look at you got to jaw out. You got to jaw out like Murray State, where it's like you got to win games, and people got to look at it and say you're winning games because of Patrick Baldwin. If this UW-Milwaukee team's not winning games, people are going to look at it and go, all right, you're playing. That's another thing we haven't talked about. Playing at Milwaukee, lesser competition too. Like you're not playing the ACCs. You're not playing the Big 12s in non-conference at all the time. So it's like, especially when you get to conference time, your conference is well weaker than what you would have looked at in the ACC, in the SEC, in the Big 10. So it's like, if you can't ball out in your conference and your team still sucks, well, why should I? It's almost like why should I take you? Why would you make my team better? Because you can't even play. Like, if you can't play against that competition, what makes me think you can play against the NBA competition?
To circle back to your Ja comparison, Ja obviously with the Murray State Racers, he had an elite skill in college that he was able to display.
Yeah.
He's an elite playmaker.
Yep.
I'm talking one of the top 5 in the NBA.
That's why
He's
he was
fantastic.
number 1 conversation.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I called it right. He was the best player in college that year, and he's the best player taking the draft, and he was. And we all can see that now. I think that the thing is, what is the one thing that Patrick Baldwin Jr. is elite at? What's his NBA level? What's his NBA skill? And we thought it was going to be his shooting. His stroke looks pretty good, but it ain't going in. So it doesn't matter what it looks like if it's not going in, Like it's one of those things where like form and function matter, but only to the point where it goes in. Like we've seen just in the last week, watching the Kings play, watching Tyrese Halliburton absolutely destroy with De'Aaron Fox off away from the team for injury or COVID, I forget whichever it is, but like he is out, so it's just Halliburton. Killing it. He's absolutely fucking slaying it out there. And everybody's like, well, he had a hitch in his shot. And you're just fucking idiots. It went in. He was great in college. His shot went in. And it doesn't matter what the form looked like. It went in at an elite level.
You're just fucking idiots.
It's it's everybody wants everything to be picture perfect. And it's not. Perfect for you isn't perfect for someone else. And that's the thing. Like, that's why LaMelo didn't go number 1 overall. And he should have.
Yeah.
LaMelo shot was off to a lot of people. And it's like, yeah, but it goes in. Like but it goes in enough to the point where he is a threat from the outside and still does everything else on top of it. Like everybody talks so much about it like that, and I'm just like, what is the elite skill that Patrick Baldwin brings at an NBA level? And if the shot's not it, doesn't have one.
Yeah,
doesn't have one. He has potential as a 6'10" shooting wing, but he's a power forward. He's not fast enough to be a small forward against the NBA level talent. So it's like, yeah, I mean, a floor spacing 4 sounds great. Shriki, as an expert from Chicago, who just got rid of their floor spacing 4, what would you think about taking somebody who is, shooting 32% from 3 against terrible level competition on high volume? Not interested, right?
I look at it and I go, there are other players I would look at first, Dave.
Yeah, like, that's the point. And it's just like, look, it's nothing against him, but you have to admit the fact that at the end of the day, if you don't have any elite level talent to showcase, I'm a little confused on why you are a lottery level talent.
Like I'll say right here, and yet again, maybe I'll use Tankathon's compare tool, even though it's not like the stats that they use are, I think, what is it per? They use per.
You can click on the different ones. I think they got per 36, per 100, and per 48 or something. I don't know.
Okay.
It's been a while since I was on Tankathon.
Basically, there's a different prospect there's a different prospect that plays a similar position to Patrick Baldwin that right now I would take well over him, and it's later in the draft. I'd take Wendell Moore right now over Patrick Baldwin.
Yeah, they play a very different position.
Very different, but like
1-6-5, 1-6-10. There's a difference.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right.
I was like, Patrick Baldwin Jr. is a 4 at best, and Wendell Moore can play 1 through 3. He can defend 4s, but that man's a ball handling.
You're right,
and he is.
Like, I look at there are players, and
if you want to talk 4s,
I would rather this player than Patrick Baldwin.
If you want to talk about some 4s in the draft, Ricky,
go ahead. You've been doing the more of the lab work than I have right now.
I think a lot of people would look at Caleb Houston. Out of Michigan.
Yep.
He is I can do a little bit of everything for you. His shooting splits are starting to look better. He does kind of seem to have it all. He's not, again, the volume shooting that Patrick Baldwin brings. I don't want to say it's like Kuzma style, but because I have not gotten that far as doing comps or any shit like that, but the kid has a trigger finger, and he obviously he has to at fucking UW-Milwaukee. Who else is going to take the shots? Who else should take the shots? But as far as big shooting wings, he is a very good prospect for that. Yeah. The problem is that there's a lot of these undersized guys who have high potential, maybe higher potential, but if you start talking upperclassmen, like Champagny at St. John's, his brother's in the NBA, obviously, but Julian Champagny at St. John's, I think he is a much better player, but Patrick Baldwin Jr. is, a 19-year-old, and there's that hope still. So it's you have to balance out the prospect from the potential, from the what can I actually see out there from you.
I agree.
I think there are some great shooters actually. Let me find my tab. I was showing you my
Dave's
I gotta
sneak
find preview.
My shooters tab.
I was gonna say there is definitely a tab for that. Ricky knows all too well. Give me one hot second.
The big tab, the wing tab, the shooter tab, the combo guard tab. Dave's got to have the I hate this prospect tab.
I will at some point, probably.
Dave, the I hate list, the list basically.
Where did Dave go? Oh, I put it over here. That's why. Sorry, I got too many screens, too many tabs. So when we're talking about big shooters, or wing shooters, I should say, wing shooters. Julian Strother. This kid is literally an NBA ready wing. He is lethal. He is absolutely lethal from distance. He can make his own shots. Great catch and shoot player. He's professional in college already. So, and he's someone who people are talking about. He'll go in the 20s.
Yeah.
Again, he is older, but at the same time, it's if I can get that uber efficient production out of a 6'7" guy, again, he's not 6'10". That's the thing you keep going back to, or at least I keep going back to in my head when we're talking about
Baldwin.
PB&J. Yeah, Patrick Baldwin Jr. It's that combination of size and floor spacing, but is it worth it if he's inefficient at it? So, there's a lot of guys who can space the floor incredibly efficiently, but they might be 6'7" or 6'8". They're not 6'10". The only other 6'10", I think, guy outside of Houston at the top of the draft in PB&J is Jovic. And he, I would say, he's still floating around, but I don't think anybody's thinking he's going to go fucking lottery, really.
We got to get him on the Nuggets, though. We got to have Jokic and Jovic on the same team.
I don't know about that.
Nikola squared, we can call him.
I don't know about that one.
NJ squared.
I don't know about that one. But I will admit, it is
the
something where
the market team in Denver is just looking at a steak right now, just drooling from the mouth. They want that, Dave.
They're both going to be good players. It's just, the shooter situation is going to be interesting to see because I don't know, man. There's just something about his game that doesn't feel right. Everybody, I don't want to break this up too much in different prospects, but no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm save it.
I'm not gonna.
I thought about it. I was I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it.
Before we move on, Dave, there's one thing from the chat. Bravo brought something up. We need to at least mention it.
Yeah, I love
He
chat.
says, can y'all talk about best rookies this year? Because it's Cade now. Or because it is Cade now. Well, sorry, Bravo, you're wrong. It's still Evan Mobley. Like, we're not doing rookie rankings again, because literally it's the same. My top three is still Mobley, Mobley, Wagner, Cade. Like, nothing has changed.
Look, Cade is very good. He's playing better. Actually, I think he just had a terrible performance his last couple of games.
Yeah.
I think he put up like a 4-3-10 line, and he got absolutely fucking abused. I take that back. He's a good player, but it's very interesting. People are starting to turn on the like, is he a franchise player, or is it just a case where he's good, but he's maybe not a franchise level talent. Maybe he's not a generational talent that we thought he was. He's a good passer. He's a decent ball handler. He can score. But what part of this you blame it on the coaching staff, the sporting cast? Again, like how many times can you make an excuse for a guy? Cade's very good. Very good. No doubt in my mind, he's very good. I still think Mobley's impact on the court, the advanced stats back it up. He's just on a different level. Obviously, Şengün would be there if he got fucking minutes. If he got minutes! I just slapped my fucking armrest down and it's dropped. That's not good. Şengün's the best fucking player, but like he doesn't get the minutes, so that'll never be proven. I think that Mobley's case is so high up there because of the success of his team. Because of how clear it is, like, he perfect fit. Like, you get to play next to Jared Allen. Your biggest fucking problem coming into the NBA was he doesn't have the size. Look, he's tall, but he's so thin. He's going to get banged on in the post. There's no chance. No, he gets put next to one of the best fucking young centers in the NBA in Jared Allen. And he gets to off-ball like a motherfucker. Like, this kid comes in from left field and swats your shit. He's always active, always looking. The two-way impact of Mobley is so hard to overcome for Cade as a one-dimensional player. I think that Barnes is up there, though. I think Barnes has been playing really well. The fact that he's now been told to take more threes, he's taking more threes. It looks good. It still looks like they're figuring out their pecking order and who's playing what. But like with COVID, it's very hard to tell. Like that shit will change so much. Like, if Fred VanVleet is out for any period of time, Scotty will take over and will look great. But then when Fred comes back into the games, it's like, what's Scotty's role? Is he a fast break guy? Yeah. Is he someone who's going to attack? His matchup with KD, I watched that 3 times. Like, literally just go find the clips from that game. If you don't even want to like watch the whole game, just find the clips of him and KD going back and forth. That will tell you everything you need to know about Scotty Barnes. Franz, as Ricky said, was number 3 for him, I believe. 2 for you?
Cade is 3.
Cade's 3, yeah. And Franz is a two-way player. Like, Cade needs to put up spectacular numbers in order to get over the gap of these two-way guys. He's got 3 two-way guys above him, and then 1 fucking advanced stats metrics monster in Şengün. Yeah. So, like, we haven't seen enough out of him to say he's the best. I respect your opinion. I just have a different one.
I respect your opinion.
I do. Like, you could say he's the best. I value different things differently. Yeah.
Yeah. And Dave, the next thing we're going to talk about has to do with. Oh wait, Bravo says, look, no one affect the game more than Cade. He's using a lot of ball too. I'm confident Cade, if he remains like that, he likely will be Rookie of the Year. Mobley more efficient, I know.
He truly the efficiency offensive is one thing, but like it's the team success matters. And the fact that Cade doesn't play a fucking lick of defense unless it's like situationally super relevant. Yeah, he doesn't. There's very little to no effort out there at times. Watch him get cooked a bunch of times. It's just he's young and I don't have that expectation. He's an offensive fucking stud. That's what he should be, and that's fine. But you can't ignore half the ball and still be like, I'm better than that guy who plays both ways, who plays on a team that wins games because of his defensive impact. And his offensive skill set helps him too. So it's like, yeah.
Next thing we're going to move into, though, Dave, has to do with a Mr. Kyrie Irving. We're going to talk a little Kyrie Irving. We haven't been able to talk about him because he's been away from the Brooklyn Nets. So
True.
it looks like Kyrie Irving, as Twitter has said, Dave, is going to be the most expensive part-time employee in the United States. Because he can't play in Brooklyn or New York. He can't play in Toronto either. So there's only a select few away games he can play in. He has entered the health and safety protocol, which I know I was talking to coworkers today where it was like, oh, he had to have a close contact. It was like, no, like, don't you have to, if you've been away, you have to enter.
Yeah, if you're rejoining the team, you have to be part of it.
Yeah, so like you just enter it. It's no big deal. The quote I have here from Mark W. Sanchez of the New York Post says, what if the current circumstances change? The Nets' health improves, and they continue to have a star who refuses to get vaccinated and plays only in half of their games. Marks would not affirm that Kyrie would be around the Nets for the remainder of the season and postseason. That's a little bit of a hypothetical, the general manager said. I don't know what's around the corner. Dave, what, like, to me, I looked at this and I went, I know you want to rejoin your team. It's great. You want to be with your team. You should be with your team. But I mean, is this really a help to the Nets? Because like, yeah, you get to play in away games, but like for me, I think playoff time, it's a huge disadvantage that your team is most likely going to have home court advantage in the playoffs, and you're going to have to sit out 4 of the 7 games because you're not vaccinated. And I know people are like, it's a choice. And I know that Kyrie...
It's a dumb choice, but it's a choice.
It's a dumb choice. And
I'm on the record.
My thought on Kyrie, and I said it today when talking with coworkers, I know he said the reason he's not vaccinated is because, I don't believe in mandates. I believe you can be vaccinated and be against mandates. Like, that, it doesn't go like, I can't be vaccinated because then I'm not for mandates. No, you be vaccinated and then say, nah, it's bullshit that you're making people get vaccinated, but I am personally vaccinated. You could say that. I think this hurts the team for the regular season. Yeah, whatever. But like come playoff time, you're hurting your team more than helping your team because in a game 7, you can't play. You can't play because your team is probably going to play in Brooklyn.
Well, so first off, maybe. We don't know quite what the future holds for us. If the season ended
today, they would...
But it's not.
Game 7s would be in Brooklyn. I know.
But it's not.
I know. But, like, most likely, there's a high chance. I know, Dave, the Bulls could be the number 1 seed. I get that. But
No, my point is that the rules are changing.
Oh, so you think New York is going to back down?
I think that by June, by May... when the playoffs are getting turned up, I think there's a good chance that the rules are very different than what they are today. I think the NBA...
We bubbling,
No,
Dave?
I think the NBA is going to follow and suit what the NFL is doing, where it's like, if you're fully tested, fully vaccinated and boosted, if you're not feeling symptomatic, then there's no reason to test you, and they're going to play through it. And then we're going to see more changes around that. And I know Kyrie not being vaccinated would be subject to different testing, but I think at some point, by May maybe, there's a chance that they will not have the mandate for New York, and he would be able to play there.
I mean, you are more optimistic than I am. I am not the reason why I'm like this, I'm not optimistic about this whole like Omicron and everything. Like what we're seeing in the NBA right now, like I don't think it's gonna get better. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. We're just going to get games canceled and like, yes, coming out of the winter is going to be like, we have to wait and see what the winter holds for us. But like, I'm not optimistic. I am not optimistic that like I was watching Hammer Don the other day last week and they were talking about Canada, how Canada's like, we're going back to 50% capacity. And Tone Diggs looked at Gumpy and he said, we're heading backwards. We are taking a huge step backwards to where it's like, there's a part of me, I know we won't because nobody wants to, but like, there's a part of me that goes, are we going to take enough step backwards to where it's like, well, we're back in lockdown. We're going back that far because we let some new variant come up and now it's knocked us back instead of moved us forward.
I think the thing is right now, the new variant is so far, asterisk, we don't know yet, less serious and more mild than the previous super deadly versions of this. So if it's to the point where, hey, people are treating it like a cold because it actually has cold-like symptoms, and the chances of people being hospitalized even without a vaccine are quite low, and New York's cool with opening up, who knows, man? Who knows? I'm just saying, like, it feels like we could be in a place where everything could go right. I think it's just presumptuous to say that now. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Yeah.
It could go the other way. We got a new super deadly version that murders people left and right. I don't fucking know. No one knows.
I respect
but
your
the fact
optimism.
the fact that the NFL is taking steps to just be like, we don't really care. We don't care anymore. You don't care anymore. Why should we care anymore? We're feigning that we care about our players' health and safety. We don't.
Yeah.
They don't care either. They're losing out on this stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass up on that situation. I think that the thing is, the whole situation felt forced though. Like the whole Kyrie coming back to the team. I don't know if you got that out of the press.
I didn't.
Okay.
So go ahead and talk about it.
It very much felt like Joe Tsai did not want Kyrie back on the team. It felt like he was being forced into it by meetings with players and colleagues. And I think this is just it's been pushed down his throat and he doesn't have a choice.
I mean, the one thing I will say is, like it or not, like Kyrie or not, yet again, a new place. Kyrie, and yet again, I know some people say, well, Ricky, this is bigger than basketball. I'm not talking about the actual topic that is being brought up, but like Kyrie Irving, headache over just being like, you don't get this with KD. You're not getting this with James Harden. This is another situation, it seems like, where Kyrie Irving then making it uneasy for his team. Like you said, if he's being forced into it, it's not a good situation then.
Teammates want him to play, though.
It's making things
I think it's
awkward.
the front office that doesn't want him there.
Yeah, well, that still makes it awkward, where it's like a whole, like, look at what happened. I know Boston was a little bit different of a situation, but, like, once there's a rift between a player in the front office, like, that's kind of hard to repair sometimes.
You have the best or the second best or the third best player in the NBA on your team at any given time with Kevin Durant, and you have another top 20 player, and that's being very whatever about James Harden. It's just this year he's obviously been working his way back to where James Harden could be. And he's also playing second fiddle, and he's also playing with a bunch of people who, new and not as high quality teammates as he used to at times. So, like, you have two very good people on your team already, and they both want to see Kyrie play. And they're both like, just fucking let him play.
I'm sure
Brooklyn
fans
just
want
do
to see Kyrie
Just
play.
do it. Just do it. And after so long of hearing that, you're going to give in and just let him have his stupid way, even if he's not vaccinated, even if he doesn't follow the level of whatever that you personally believe in, because technically he should be able to.
Do you want to hear my prediction for the Nets this year? From, like, right now? This is what's going to happen. I appreciate your optimism, Dave. But I do not think by the finals that New York will just magically lift their mandate. I have no optimism that we are going forward, that we will take steps back. We're not going to go all the way to a lockdown or a bubble, but, like, I have zero, like, optimism that it's just going to be like, well, the mandate's gone. Everything is roses and lollipops and rainbows. I think what's going to happen is they're going to get to the playoffs. He's not going to play at home games. They're going to lose a playoff series because Kyrie wasn't there because he couldn't be because of the mandate. And then what's going to happen is during the offseason, everyone is going to look at Kyrie, not the players, media, fans, front office, and be like, could have won that playoff series if Kyrie was vaccinated. Could have won that playoff series if Kyrie was out there. Could have won that playoff. What could have happened? This team.
They could have won a playoff series last year over the champs if if Kevin Durant wore a size smaller shoe.
Yeah, that too.
His correct size shoe. If he wore his true to size shoe, they would have beat the champs and then probably been the champs. So it's already there.
Weren't they injured last year too?
Oh, they were also injured. Yeah.
They were injured in the bubble. They were injured last year. Like, this is going to be something to where, like, that's what I think is going to happen. It's going to be yet another, like, why isn't this Brooklyn team, like, I kind of want to say a stupid reason of why they wouldn't be in the Eastern Conference Finals, in the NBA Finals. because I don't want to play my home games. Like,
But if they can win it with Kyrie not playing home games, I mean, you got to admit that that's an all-time great team.
That's an all-time great team. I'm just not optimistic that would happen. I think they need all three of the superstars to win a title.
I don't know. I think as we get closer to the playoffs, either things will get better and we will have different rulings for the state of New York.
Yeah.
Canada, I can't speak on that path.
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows Canada? But the other thing is, maybe by then, Kyrie will be willing to get the shot. If his teammates are like, hey man, we're the number 1 seed in the NBA or in the East even.
Now I will say,
and like
that may happen
he gets
before the
guilted into it with 2 weeks to go to get a shot. Like that I could see. That would be very interesting.
So, what if this happened, Dave?
Yeah.
Right now, the Raptors are the 10th seed.
Yep.
What if they won game 1?
Oh, no.
They won game 2.
Oh, no.
Kyrie can't play the first series because he can't play in Toronto, can't play in Brooklyn.
The Nets should win that series even without Kyrie. I will just say that out loud.
Or if the Knicks somehow get like to the 10th and then win the 2 games. It's like, well, I can't play either game because I can't play in New York.
Exactly.
Like, I just look at it and it's like, I almost want that to happen just to make it an issue. Just to make it an issue. Yeah. Like,
but again, if he was playing for Dallas, no one would give a fuck. This isn't even an issue. He just couldn't go to Canada after January 15th.
Yeah, I mean,
he would be playing the whole season. This wouldn't be a story. This is
Dallas
only a story because of the state of New York.
Yeah.
There are 15 other players in the NBA who are not vaccinated.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal's not vaccinated. Does anyone give a shit? Doesn't seem like it.
I mean,
where's the hatred for Bradley Beal?
I mean, the one thing I will say...
Jonathan Isaac's not vaccinated. No one cares because he's not playing.
Yeah.
And the Magic also suck.
Like,
and they won't be in the playoffs.
I will preach this again. I think the Chicago Bulls proved why you should be vaccinated. Our team got stricken with COVID, and it was just like, yeah, I got some mild symptoms. Oh, I don't feel any symptoms at all. All our players seem to be okay for right now. To where it's like,
Melo Ball got COVID, and he had fever, chills, and whatever. I was reading his comments, and there's like, yeah, I couldn't sleep. Like, I would literally be sweating through my clothes, have to go take a shower, and then get back to bed, and then within a half an hour he was freezing.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think I showered 8 times in one night. And I was like, I get that.
Sounds like me after I got that second shot.
I said that was the same thing. I had that, but I had it like for like a couple weeks. It was wild. So like I get that. Like when he said that, I was like, yep, I get it. And he is vaccinated, so it's like, bro, it ain't nothing to fuck with still. Availability. That's what it's all be down to.
I will say this is a little off topic, but it's with the COVID thing.
Yeah.
My boss has a theory, yet again, not a scientist, but has a theory that depending on how the second shot affected you, he's like, he wants to wait until like 5 years down the line. If there'll be a correlation to be like, okay, if that second shot didn't kick your ass, then you would be one of the people that's like, I had COVID, I'm fine. But if that second shot kicked your ass, then you would have been one of the people that's like, yeah, you could have possibly died from COVID. Like,
who knows?
When he said that, I'm like, I want to see that down the line. If there's a correlation.
Which version of COVID? We talking the OG?
Yeah,
I'm talking the
Delta?
OG,
I'm talking the OG, because that's what the original vaccine was made for. Now the boosters are for the Deltas, for the Omicron, Megatron.
The Omicron's all new.
Decepticons, I don't care cons.
Yeah.
PlayStation 5 cons, like...
Yeah, I'd say that the fucking Boston Celtics have gotten slapped sideways by COVID. Like, Jaylen Brown's never been consistently healthy, but Tatum, I mean, he was on an insane MVP level talent last year prior to him getting COVID. He got COVID, came back, looked like a shell of himself for quite a period of time before he got his feet under him again. And he's still, he had to use his inhaler when he got back because he was still having breathing difficulties. So it's like... Yeah. That's a great call out, Jamie.
Some of these lung issues, they stick with you after COVID.
We don't know long term, you know.
Like yet again, my boss mentioned his neighbor got COVID, and his neighbor was one of those like, I don't need to get vaccinated. Not only did it change his mind to get vaccinated, he just now has a lingering cough, to where like he'll just be like talking to you, and it's just like he's got a cough now because that's just from COVID. But the last thing we're talking about, Dave, non-COVID related news. Although this team they split the team up, and some people still did get COVID.
Wiggins got COVID.
Golden State Warriors got some news, Dave, that a certain Klay Thompson is eyeing a January home games for return. Dave, what to expect from Klay? Should we expect Supernova Klay? Should we expect hit the ground running? Oh my God, Warriors are the NBA champions? Or temper expectations, but hopefully he's back to being Klay by the playoffs?
I think we should temper our expectations. I'm hoping that they work them in slow. This is not a rush. The Warriors are the best team in basketball right now, maybe second only to the Suns, but we don't even know the answer to that one.
Right now, they're a half game behind the Suns record.
Yeah, but are they better? That's the question.
Yeah, they are better than the Suns.
So, like, it's they're 1-1A at this point in my mind.
Steph Curry, Devin Booker.
Yeah, Steph Curry, CP3.
Klay Thompson, Devin Booker.
No, you mean. But
Andrew
no, like that's
Wiggins, McHale defense is here.
They're both. I think that was pretty close. Actually, I think that's pretty close.
Draymond Green, DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, that's.
And then,
but we'll see.
And then Kevon Looney.
Yeah, well, I mean, you
like
don't play
Looney,
Kevin,
but
you don't close with Looney. Okay, you don't close with Looney.
Also, as Jake would say, don't forget about the cum bucket.
He's starting because Wiggins is out with COVID.
I love it.
Yeah, they're going Steph, Damian Lee, Kuminga, Draymond, and Looney tonight versus the Kings because Jordan Poole's also out. Yeah. It's like, damn, man. Anyway, Klay Thompson, no rush. Whenever he's 100% happy and healthy, bring him back. Put him in for 5 minutes tonight, 10 minutes tonight, 15 minutes tonight. Work him up. There's no rush. This is a championship caliber team. It's disgusting what they have in talent. I'm gonna say the same exact thing, Ricky. Before you even get a chance to say it, James Wiseman. I don't know if you guys remember last year's number 2 overall pick in the draft. He'll be back soon. Be excited to see what he brings. Same situation. Bring him along slowly. There's no rush. They have so much fucking talent on this team. There's no need to rush anyone back. They're winning everything they need to win. I'm not going to crown their asses yet, but it's hard not to, man. It is extremely hard not to. And I think that I think it's going to come down to, what's Klay going to look like by the playoffs? Is he 80% of the player that he used to be? If so, I don't know if there's a team that can beat him in a best of 7. 80% Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
I think you could call it at that point,
One thing,
I think he's going to be better. I'm going to be honest. I think he's going to be back.
I can't wait for him to be back because I can't wait. I want the Warriors to be the Warriors again, Dave. I want them to be take over the league Warriors because I'm a fanboy.
They're building a legacy on top of a legacy. It's just... they're dynasty.
And I don't care win or lose, Dave. It would be my ultimate wet dream this year.
I don't want to hear that phrase come out of your mouth ever again.
What if we got Bulls-Warriors finals? I wouldn't care who wins. And that's coming from a Bulls fan. I wouldn't care who wins.
You would care, but...
I want the Bulls to win, but winner, chicken dinner either way.
Yeah.
My fanboy team or my actual team. One of them wins.
I get you, man.
The one thing I do want to throw out, because I saw this on Twitter, and I think he needs some recognition, is our boy Vegberg, who great Twitter follow for NBA and Orlando Magic, posted a side-by-side picture, and the first one was somebody quoted the StatMuse pick of Kuminga's line from his first career start, and it said, pretty good for being bad at basketball. And then Vegberg posted a picture of looking on Google, Jonathan Kuminga is bad at basketball, and it says, no results for Jonathan Kuminga is bad at basketball. Because that's what everyone wanted to say, Dave. Jonathan Kuminga, bad at basketball.
That's
He's
cute.
Bad at basketball, Dave. But yeah, I want that, I know I should temper my expectations, Dave, but I just want to hit the ground running. Klay comes back. The Warriors just skyrocket. Number 1 team in the West. No team can touch. Name a team in the Western Conference in a playoff series that you think beats the Warriors. Not that, it's close. It goes to 6. It goes to 7. For sure beats the Warriors. Maybe the Jazz. Maybe the Suns. But not even them.
The Memphis Grizzlies. Boom! Boom! I said it.
Who, by the way, I think they're dad dicking the Thunder right now.
Ja returned tonight.
28 to 16 right now.
I heard Steven Adams already has 10 fucking rebounds in 5 minutes. So
he is a walking like nine boards a game.
if he wants to, he can get them. If he wants to,
Aquaman
he can
is
get them.
insane.
No, I think Memphis is one of the weirdest fucking teams in the NBA. Their defense is insane. Their offense with Ja is insane. Healthy Dylan Brooks and Jaren Jackson Jr. playing well. Bane is getting unleashed from night to night. Like, they are a couple moves away from being terrifying. I think they're low key.
Yeah.
Jeremy Grant running, they should be in it. I think they've got young pieces. They could flip.
I look at that team and I go, if the Warriors are number one, all the Grizzlies right now would have to do in a playoff series is get through the Clippers. It's Kawhi back, get through the Clippers, and then they would face the Warriors in the second round.
Yeah, I want to see that matchup. I'm telling you, I think the Grizzlies have the pieces to move to get to Grant and keep their core together. And can you imagine a lineup with Ja, Desmond Bane, Jalen Brooks, Jeremy Grant, and Jaren Jackson Jr.?
Yeah.
Like, obviously that's their closing lineup, so that way Adams doesn't have to be on the court for free throws at the end of the games.
Yeah.
But they could play him if they needed to, and just that would be disgusting. That they would have incredible defense, incredible offense, depth like oozing. They are really one of the best young teams in the NBA, and I think that they would be a problem for the Warriors. But you can't beat the Warriors if Steph and Klay are on. Like, we've seen it happen. You can't. And now that they've got young talent and they still no.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to be this year. But it's probably the Warriors. Giannis looks great when he's there. When they've got their big four. But like, if we're telling me, it's Giannis and the Nets and the Bulls maybe as the top three in the East versus the Warriors, the Suns. I guess I don't want to believe in the Jazz because I'm a hater now. The Memphis Grizzlies, I guess. Like, I don't know.
Couple of things from Jamie in chat. First off, the spacing sounds like Jake's wet dream.
It does.
Because you know how Jake loves spacing.
It does. I do too. Yeah.
He also says his gut feeling tells me Wiseman cum bucket is traded to Toronto for Pascal and Cat Filler.
Oh,
Pascal C-Scam.
I think they'd have to give up Looney.
Would the Warriors
side?
Do they need to do that? No. But, are they going to trade? What's going to get it done? Do they need to trade Wiggins? Do they need
If you can snipe C-Scam, go for it. You don't move Wiggins. I'm telling you right now, Wiggins is so good for them, and he is so good in general. Like, people, I think I said last week or a couple weeks ago, I was like, I wouldn't trade him for Ben Simmons straight up.
Yeah.
Fuck no. He's a better player than Ben Simmons is for the Warriors. It's not even a doubt. C-Scam, same thing. Give me Wiggins every day, all day over Pascal C-Scam on the Warriors. There's no point.
And honestly, Jamie, I disagree with this one. A healthy Lakers would piss off LeBron. No, because you got Russ on that team. Russ counteracts it. They lose in the first round.
I don't know, man. Healthy Lakers is something we haven't seen.
I don't think. Hold your breath. I don't think we're going to see it. Old man Lakers is not winning the fucking title this year. I'd be surprised.
Out of spite,
I'd be surprised.
LeBron James demands a trade. Golden State offers up Andrew Wiggins, Kuminga, Wiseman,
but you don't trade Wiggins,
Rudy, and a first.
Oh,
would you take the deal if you're the Warrior? If you're Golden State and the Lakers?
Absolutely, I get LeBron James.
No, would you take the deal if you're the Lakers?
Yes.
Really, you would trade LeBron James
if I'm in the play-in tournament? You're in the play-in tournament, man.
You're the 10th seed. Say you're in the 9th seed or the 10th seed.
LeBron is doing exactly what he does. Exactly what he does. He goes to a team, he brings them to greatness, wins a title with them, and then leaves them in a worse spot than they were when he was there after he leaves.
I mean, to be fair, that Miami Heat team could have won if Chris Bosh didn't have the heart disease.
Yeah, but
they were very good still.
Look at Cleveland now. Once LeBron leaves,
let's just blame the owner, blame the GM. Well, yeah. They're both shitheads.
But this Laker team, after LeBron leaves, what are they gonna have? And that's the thing. Picks. When you have LeBron James, you don't really keep your young talent.
You set history and trade LeBron James.
And you chase your role players who actually want to stay away. Thank you, though, because now he's one of us. By the way, did you see Benny the Bull's
Yes.
sign?
Alex Caruso clowning him. Yes, I did. That was glorious.
Benny Savage. No, I don't think they trade LeBron, but it would be great.
I do too.
Who do they trade him to? Like,
who do they trade who to?
LeBron.
That's what I'm saying. Golden State. Golden State has the best assets in the NBA.
No, Dave.
That's evil.
What if Brooklyn's GM goes, we'll give you Kyrie and whatever the fuck you want. You just can't have KD or Harden.
I don't have anything else.
Like,
they don't have anything else to give.
But like,
yeah, as I say, like there's nothing left.
Who else? Because like, I don't think the Warriors even look at a trade, even if it's LeBron James.
I think the Warriors would trade Wiggins, Wiseman, Moody, and Kuminga, and a first.
What team?
Or LeBron James?
Is that the team you'd want LeBron to like?
Yes, yes. It would be the ultimate fuck you to KD. Like, could you imagine? I mean, RDC World, when they signed KD was one of my favorite videos, watching the reaction of like the Warriors signed KD shit. And then it was like the Nets thing where it was just like one player after another. Yeah. They signed who? Kyrie. I know you're listening. I know you hear me. Yeah. I love that shit. So like if LeBron did that to KD and like hardest pathed them and joined the Warriors team, which is just dominant already.
So
that would be a field day for ESPN. It would be a field day for Skip Bayless.
You know, it'd be a bigger FU.
What's that?
If he at the trade deadline gets traded to the Knicks, ain't pissed off LeBron, brings the Knicks to the playoffs, beats the Nets in the playoffs.
Oh no!
And then does whatever he wants. Like,
no chance.
Title, like no chance. They actually win the title if he's on the.
What are they gonna trade for? Kemba Walker and the spin cycle back? Like
Obi
no,
Toppin,
man.
Kevin Knox.
Oh yeah, top talent right there. Top talent right
throw
there.
RJ Barrett in there. You don't need him. You got LeBron James. They have the whitest man in the NBA. Is he? Is Joe Harris the whitest in the NBA?
Pretty fucking white.
I mean,
Davis Bertans might be white, but he's European, so like, is that even white? Like, that's not a question I can answer.
Elmer Fudd, like,
it's true. Elmer Caruso is pretty white. But I've heard him referred to as a couple of things, so I can't repeat on stream.
Elmer Fudd?
No, Caruso.
Oh, Caruso.
People just feel like he's really light skinned. Like, just hide it from us. I'm like, Jesus.
We're going to end this before Dave and I say something we probably shouldn't, but that is going to do it for the fast break this week. Thank you guys for being as great as you always are. Remember, if you're not a part of it, join the Discord down below. Greatest community in the universe. Great NBA discussions and NBA discussions happening every day. That link is down below and it is free. If you want to check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/MVPvids, or become a channel member, if you would like to support us, that would be great. And last but not least, hit that sub button, that like button, that notification bell to stay in tune with everything going on at MVP. Want to thank you guys for everything you did listening to this. I mean, we talked, you listened. I don't know who did harder work, us or you. Probably you, because you listened to it.
Yeah, after listening to our shit.
That's the harder work. If you like nerdy shit, we've got the wrestling podcast kicking on the entertainment channel. Dave and I talked about No Way Home. So if you like those will be up very soon. So go ahead, and subscribe to our entertainment channel as well. That link is somewhere on this page. It's somewhere. I think it might be like up there in the corner, down below. It should be down below. You should be able to find it. But thank you guys for everything you do. Dave and I will be back next week. And as always, have a good day, everybody.